Alright, so I watched the new My Little Pony movie. I believe it's called The New Generation, or The Next Generation, or The New whatever generation of My Little Pony. This is the official start of Generation 5. The movie came out this morning. I watched it, then I went to work, and I've been thinking about this movie all day long. I'm now here, and I'm going to share what my thoughts are. These are my first viewing thoughts, so these are the reactions that I have after watching this movie only once. I emphasize this because sometimes our opinions can change upon further viewings, and it happens a lot with movies. Like the My Little Pony movie, my opinions definitely have changed since that first viewing way back in 2012. Oh, that's so long ago. 4 years almost since we had the movie. Shocking. But now we're here. The new movie was on Netflix, so I didn't have to go to a movie theater, which, was convenient, so I could watch it at any point. What did I think about this movie? What were my initial thoughts? I thought that the movie was nice. The movie's not terrible. It's not bad in any way. It's a nice, simple movie that's cute. It's funny. It's got some decent songs there, and it's an introduction to a new series of new characters, and it also calls back to a lot of previous moments from the show. With that being said, going into this movie, I wasn't really hyped at all. I wasn't too excited. For me, after the show ended pretty much, I kind of moved on a bit. I still love ponies. I still go and watch pony videos from time to time. But I'm not actively seeking news and leaks or anything that happens. I didn't even watch Pony Life at all. I have a calendar of it, but I haven't seen the show yet at 4.5. I'm going to eventually, but still haven't seen it. So there's a new Pony movie. The biggest issue that I could have with this movie, it's not really much of an issue. It kind of is, but it's kind of not. But the main flaw that I can give this movie is the plot and the story. It's very simple. The basic plot is we have these ponies that are not united. We have Pegasi, Earth Pony, and Unicorn, and they're their mortal enemies. One of the Earth Ponies believes that they can be friends. They meet the Unicorn who enters the city. They try to escape from being captured. They go off to a distant land where they're captured again for being enemies. Then they find a MacGuffin and learn a history that could maybe solve this, a crystal they had to put together. They get the crystal, go to another land that's an enemy, get that crystal. Through a series of events, they get the crystals together and nothing works. Oh wow. So they split off in their own ways. And then after pondering, they realize, oh wait, there's actually another part of the crystal that we didn't think of. Then they try to get that, but then of course, usually at that point they've established a villain, and the villain comes in, becomes a nuisance, doesn't really do anything to really harm the characters except maybe destroy their house. Then they realize that the crystals didn't have the power. The power was in the journey along with making friends. And then they defeat them with that ability, and that ignites the crystals, brings them together. Peace and harmony are once again in this world. That's a very simple plot, and I guess another reason why I can criticize it is because it's not exactly a brand new plot. I've seen this exact same plot done before somewhere else. My mind isn't working with me and telling me where I've seen that plot, but I know at least once I've seen that plot, the exact same plot used in some other movie or TV show, most likely animated, but it's been done before. So they do it here and now, which I guess it kind of works when you're trying to establish a new world, but we do have to keep in mind that Generation 5, officially from Hasbro, they're saying this is part of the same universe as Generation 4, but years later. So we have an established universe, we have established rules of magic, we have an established history. This movie, this new generation, seems to throw away all of that and start from the get-go. And they don't explain why. The biggest thing about that is that the ponies are all divided, which is, it's curious because they're all united, but it also means that everything that Twilight and her friends worked for throughout the entire show ended up not being for anything, because one, not all the creatures of Equestria are gone, they're not together. Our main ponies are gone. And now we start from scratch in this new show. And I don't know if it will make for an interesting show. New people, when watching this for the first time without watching G4, might like this, but then I don't know. If they go back and watch G4 later, they might be confused of like, oh wait, like where did all these creatures go? Why is this the case? I also noticed that their cutie marks were largely different as well, where they only had cutie marks on one side of their flank and not the other. And that's confusing because normally you have two. And I wish there was an explanation for that in world. It may have something to do with magic, but I don't think that's the case. My only explanation is that they did that because the toys are going to be like that, and they only go on to one side because maybe they're wanting to save on having to print on another cutie mark on the other side. That's my explanation for that. Is it true? I don't know. The way that magic works in this world is kind of different as well. Not only just like the cutie marks, but the way it's shown in the unicorns and in the Pegasi. Unicorns, the change isn't that big. Their horns glow, which is normal. I didn't see anything different about that. But mainly the Pegasi, their wings glow now when they fly, which is... I wonder if it's temporary, just to show that, hey, we got our magic back, but I don't know. It might be a new rule. There's definitely a new look, because... spoilers, our main character, Sunny Scout, becomes an alicorn at the end of the movie, which is never explained at all. They never even set up alicorns. I mean, throughout the entire movie, is presented in these situations where she has the fake wings and a horn that makes her look like an alicorn, but they never expressly say that's an alicorn. That means that she's a princess of friendship. Here, she becomes an alicorn for, I don't know, no reason. It's confusing, but it's not even a true alicorn. Like, her wings and her horn are fake. They're glowy. They're not physical as it was with Twilight. And I don't know what the rules are of this world anymore. Those laws shouldn't change. But they did. And the best way I can describe this movie is to compare it to something like Batman Beyond or Legend of Korra, where those two shows take place far in the future of Batman the Animated Series and the Avatar: The Last Airbender. And there's differences in this world. Of course, Batman's old in one of them. His world around them is futuristic, and then Korra, technology is advanced to like the Steel Age, and they have different rules there, I guess, as well. So I hope that we get this more fleshed out in the show, or maybe a sequel, because right now there's a lot of questions that are just never answered or even brought up, and it's odd. It's an odd choice, but they did it, and I hope that eventually we get an answer for it. Now, the movie's not all bad. I actually said it was nice, it was good. I do enjoy Izzy. She's a really fun character. She's like the Pinkie Pie, but not crazy, just more silly. And she's more playful, like a little kid, while Pinkie Pie is like playful as she wants to be the party girl. And there are differences. And I will say, another nitpick is the character designs of our main characters. I have an issue with them, and I've expressed this before. It's not so much I think they're ugly. It's just that I think for your main characters, they didn't choose the right color scheme. For the most part, their color scheme feels like background characters. Versus if you were to look at our main six, they have your primary colors plus your main secondary colors, but they're also bright pastel, while the other designs are more toned down like they were with our Student 6. And I also have the same issue with these characters here as I did with the Student 6, where there's not really much for me to care about each of them. I care about Sunny because it is her main mission, and we know a bit of her past, and we know what she wants. I care about Sunny because she makes an impression that she's a funny character, and she just wants to be friends. I care about Hitch because he wants to do his job. He's also the kind of the Fluttershy in this movie, but that doesn't go anywhere. They don't do anything with it, which is strange how they were like constantly setting that up in the movie, but they don't have him accept that ability and do something with it. Maybe they're going to do something with that later, but for now, I get the vibe as the Fluttershy from Scooter Trixie Bridge, where Animals just follows Fluttershy, and Fluttershy has no idea what's going on. I can't really speak too much about the songs because, again, first viewing, the songs may come out differently. But from the first viewing, I thought the songs were okay. They're not the quality... Sorry, they're not the catchy... We were spoiled with Daniel Ingram's musical choice. Here feels more like your modern choices. Another thing about modernism is that I don't like the world that's established in the show, and because it feels like they're just copying our modern worlds. We have the Pegasus City, which looks a lot like New York Times Square, with all the live action references. So like we have the McDonald's, the movie theaters, the different brands, Pony for Sony. You have the movie theaters. They have phones and they live stream, and they got that little face emojis type things, which I don't really like that. And I say that because when you're watching a show like My Little Pony or a show in general, you want to have an escape from the real world. And if we're constantly reminded about the real world with all these imagery, it defeats the purpose, and I'm not really interested in. I think the only place that I was intrigued by the most was Bridalwood. It's in the forest. It's not exactly designed off of everything. And I go back to G4 where we have Canterlot and Ponyville, which are unique designs because they're not basing it on one and established places. Like Manhattan is based off New York, and it's just New York as ponies. It's nothing unique compared to Ponyville, where each house and cottage was its own thing. That's a lot of the thoughts that I have for this. I like Izzy. She's probably my favorite character of this, with Sunny. She's just funny. She's a bit oblivious to things, but she's cute and funny. yeah, also going back to the color schemes, Izzy and one of the other Pegasus, the fashionista sister, the Rarity copy, they have similar color schemes, but they're part of the same team, which we shouldn't really have, because here we had different color schemes. You know, you had orange contrasted by yellow, you got pink contrasted by purple. Here we have two purple characters, and the main difference is their main color, which, yikes. I don't know if I have much left to say about this. The villain was fine. I didn't really hate him. I just thought he was mad with power. There was really nothing to really be like, oh, he's a villain. He was more like, I want to be this. I'm privileged. His best bits are when he's with his mother, and he's like, Mommy, was I a good sheriff? And the mother's just like the supportive kind. It's like, oh yeah, dear, okay, yeah, whatever. But yeah, those are the thoughts that I have on this movie. Overall, it's a nice, cute movie. There's problems in that the story is simple. It's copying something that other stuff has done before. There's a problem with the universe and how it takes on previously established stuff. There's differences that are questionable and need to be explained. Nitpicks are just the way scene transitions may happen. There's a part where Izzy is asking a question that immediately comes to a neck shot where she's in a different location singing a song. Not a great transition. I also got lost when they were traveling. I didn't have a context about what was going on, and so I felt like it was too fast when I got to the Pegasi. Other than that, it's fine. Does it get me excited for G5? I don't know. I will take a guess in a possible episode that could come in G5 where either the characters time travel, or they see ghosts or dreams, and we see our main six again, or some of them, and speak to these new characters. It's going to happen. I mean, they're going to reference the past. I mean, the main six characters start out this movie, which I thought was so well how they did that. They took a look at the past and immediately brought us into the future with little kids talking about the past, and that's nice. Everything else is fine. It's a nice movie. It's nothing adventurous or hardcore as G4 was, but this does a fine job. The crystals, I have no idea what that thing is. It's not the elements of harmony, I don't think. What happened to the elements of harmony? What are those crystals? What's going on there? Everything. I like the little statues. Those models were photorealistic. They kind of look like these Funko Pops. With that said, I don't think I have anything else left to say about this movie. Again, it was fine. It was cute. It was nice. It's not the best thing in the world. Am I excited to see Gen 5? Yes, no, whatever. I'll watch it when it comes out, but we'll see. There's not really much set up that I'm curious about. It's more so what happened to the world. Why is everything messed up? And I hope they do explain that, because if they don't, you're missing out. So then, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.